From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Real Housewives news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? It's your boy DJ Jesse Janedy here in the AfterBuzz TV booth. And look who's back.
I'm back.
We got the one, the only...
On the AfterBuzz...
Oh, there she is again. Now the one, the only Stephanie Bauer. What up, girl?
Hey, Jesse. Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be back with Real Housewives. I was going through withdrawals.
I mean, we've had some crazy episodes since you've been gone.
I almost am glad that... No, I'm not glad, but I can't believe I missed the stripper episode. I mean, I watched it at home, but I would have loved to hear your thoughts, Cameron's thoughts, Courtney's thoughts.
Oh, and the three of us had some thoughts. I mean, here at AfterBuzz, a big popular saying that we use is "dick in the soup," and this took "dick in the soup" to a whole new level.
Dick in the cocktail
Dick
glass.
in the cocktail.
Oh my gosh.
Dick in the wine. But speaking of the lovely Courtney Stewart, we have her on the line. What up, girl?
Hi.
Hi, Courtney.
So glad you're joining us this week. Unfortunately, Cameron can't join us. I gotta find my phone because he did send me a text. That was pretty funny.
Did he?
So I'm gonna have
He
to.
left us a message.
He left. Yeah, he left us a message to talk about something with Shereé. But I'll find that. We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's start it off. You guys can call us and join in on the convo at 424-256-1729. So feel free to do that. And I mean, let's just get into it. Yeah. Let's start with Kim.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of a low episode that had some high points, but mainly it was Kim having the baby in her wig. I noticed on all the blogs and everything, the huge thing is it was called like baby in a wig or something.
Three
yes,
wigs and a baby.
Yes, because it looks like she has 3 wigs put on. But and Jesse even mentioned to me, said, "Can you wear makeup when you're going into labor?" And I said, "Yeah, I think you can. It's just if you're having a C-section or surgery that you can't wear makeup." But needless to say, Kim was all decked out. She toned it down a little bit, but she still looked fabulous. And Kroy was right there by her side, and I thought it was really sweet. I thought the little family meeting before she went into labor was really cute. They just kind of all hang around and chill, and they listen to what the little girls' opinions are and what their sayings are. So I thought it was really sweet. What about you guys?
Well, I just didn't think, I don't know, I kind of expected Real Housewives to do something a little bigger. Me
too. They kind of buried it in the middle of the episode. Well, I mean, not really, but it seemed that way. You're totally right. And they didn't show any of the labor, which is obviously a choice of the mom. I mean, some people, like on Courtney and Kim with the Kardashians, they'll show the labor. But so it is definitely up to the mom. But they didn't show anything. No sound effects, no behind the door.
Well, I don't want to hear sound effects. Because
I know, but
the sound effects we heard tonight, I was like, she is Miss Piggy. She was like grunting at Kroy. It was disgusting. I didn't.
In between cursing.
Yeah, so I'm glad they didn't I'm glad we came back in the room and there's the baby.
Yeah, but I mean, we saw a sweet little moment where it almost seemed like she was gonna tear up, but it was very quick and this is a housewife baby. That's kind of a big deal, but
that is true.
They kind of passed
Courtney,
over
what did
it.
you think of the whole baby syndrome situation?
I was kind of sadly bored. Like, I thought it was cool, like, when they were in the car on the way and they're kind of chatting back and forth, and you could actually see Kroy was, like, super nervous, but actually holding on to it very well. And she was, like, arguing with him about being nervous. I thought that was kind of cute and funny. But the only thing that I thought about really was how I think her oldest daughter, Brielle, is really gorgeous. And she's so cute, standing in there, like, being supportive of her mom, and I thought that was sweet. But I was just hoping that now that Kim's had the baby, she'll be more entertaining for the rest of the season.
I hope so, because it's getting boring.
Yeah.
I mean,
because the love, like, oh, I love him, oh, we're so in love, and we're having our baby, and life is grand. Like, yeah, that's great. I'm happy for them, but I'm bored. So can we get something new?
Yeah, if she started out on the show the way she is now, she wouldn't be popular, and people would be bored with her. And it was funny to me that the the way they showed it on the show, Kroy's like, all right, well, I'm tired. I know you must be tired, so let's go to bed. And that was it. That was the conclusion to the baby episode.
Well,
snooze.
Yeah.
You know, a little something that spiced it up. You know, Sweetie always delivers every week. And although she was kind of quiet this week, I thought, you know what? Well, actually, wait, Courtney, were you on the line the other week when I told Cameron about how I thought I saw Sweetie?
What?
No.
I didn't hear this either.
So DJ Jesse embarrassed himself maybe a week and a half ago. I was in Target.
Target's where I see everyone, by the way. Is it the Santa Monica Target in Hollywood?
No, it was Sherman Oaks.
Oh, I see everyone in Target.
So I see this woman. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Sweetie from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I was like, what is she doing in Cali? So I like kind of like walked around because I didn't want to like walk up to a random person and be like, hey. So I did a little walk around to see, you know, if it was her or not. I'm looking at her, I'm like, wow, this girl looks just like her. I was like, it's not going to hurt to ask. So I literally walked up to this woman and was like, hey, excuse me, are you Sweetie?
Sweetie?
Guess what? It wasn't her. So it was a very awkward moment because she just like looked at me like, she didn't know if I was hitting on her or she was just like,
yeah, Sweetie.
No.
Totally sounds like you're trying to pick up a prostitute. Like
right.
Code words.
That's
are you
hilarious.
So she didn't even know who you were talking about, really?
Not at all. Hold on. We're going to let someone on the line. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where are you from?
I just want to see DJ Jesse J. I can't believe that happened to you.
Is that Cameron?
Wait a minute, Cameron. Hello?
Cameron, is this a trick? It sounded like him, right?
It sounded like him. Courtney?
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we just got a prank phone call.
All I heard was
okay.
Jesse.
That happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happened. But beyond that, it made me think, watching this episode, I was like, I kind of want a Real Housewives doll. A Sweetie doll, because she does so many different jobs.
Like,
she could be like Chef Sweetie. You could dress her up as Nurse Sweetie. You saw when Kim was like, "What is my blood pressure saying?" Sweetie went over to the. I was like, we could make a Barbie doll. Sweet, that would be. I feel like she would want that. That'd be great.
Well, I really wish that had been her in Target, because this episode really made me wonder, and I know we've kind of tried to do some digging and find out, but we still don't really know what happened because they're being so quiet about it. But what happened to Sweetie? I really want to know, because at intimate moments like this, like she's in the delivery room with the kids and the whole family, like she was really a genuine part of the family, and I just want to know what happened. I'm just dying to know. Like
Me too.
I mean, and they're being really quiet about it. The only time she was confronted about it, she's like, I'm not going to talk about it. But that's a big, she was like a family member, and now she's just not there.
Oh, I don't know.
So I wish it had been her, but nice try, Jesse. I would have done the exact same thing.
Right, I wanted to get the scoop for AfterBuzz.
Oh.
All right, so let's move on from that snore fest. Although, wait, I did love Dr. Hood.
He's like, is she cussing?
Yeah.
It was like, what if Woody Allen, I feel like it was like a Family Guy episode where Woody Allen would come in and be your doctor and make like crazy little jokes. Like, Dr. Hood was cool. I liked him.
He's like, if that's not her cussing, she's not in labor. He like
Exactly.
could have cared less. He like wanted to be anywhere else in the world. He's like, all right, let's go.
Another snooze, freaking Kandi.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was her fault. She tried, but they just didn't give her much this
She
episode.
tried.
She did.
She
love
meant
Kandi.
well.
I think she's so cute, and her mom's kind of becoming an additional housewife. And they took the car shots. Courtney, what did you think of the car shots?
For
All I could think
sexyseniors.com.
the whole time, and I don't want to say anything bad because I love her mom, and I think it's really cute that they were trying to hook her up and get her some dates. But her hair was driving me crazy. I was like, comb the pin curls out. Comb them out.
Only Courtney would be noticing the hair. I didn't like her makeup. I was like, oh, Kandi, what did you do to her makeup? It was like blue or purple eyeshadow or something.
Yeah,
sorry.
she was totally right when she said she looked like a drag queen. It was a little
No,
heavy.
she looked like a freaking like a prostitute who's been doing it a little too long, and like, why is she on top of the car like that? I want people to look at my mother and say, "Oh, she looks fun." No, your
I
mother
don't think
looks
that's
crazy.
yeah, that's not the impression they would get. And even the mom.
And she didn't even look like she could sit on top of the car at that. She was like bouncing. What's that thing called? Planking that the kids are doing.
The freaking corset.
I know, and she even said, she's like, I will not be wearing the corset. I will not be wearing this makeup. Like, she's just giving false hope to any old man that does see her profile picture. But it was really cute that Kandi tried and went out to her car and got her corset and did all this stuff for her mom. I thought it was really cute, and I enjoyed the tiny little segment, but that was all we got from Kandi this week.
Like sexyseniors.com.
That's
actually amazing.
She said something, yeah. Seniors.
Sexual seniors or something.
Single
We
seniors.
need to look it up and see if our profile's up.
No, honestly, I feel like that was just a segment. I really feel like Kandi's mom would not put those pictures up on. I don't know. Maybe she.
I agree.
I know, not those pictures. I wouldn't doubt it that Kandi put her on some nice, respectable dating website, but probably not that one. But Jesse, remember the HIV thing?
Yes. Can you believe that, Courtney?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can.
Totally believe
I didn't know.
that.
I didn't know all these old people were getting down like that.
Listen,
well, you know, they were saying that the sex STDs in like old people homes like have skyrocketed because the people aren't using anything, but they're still like sneaking around to each other and getting it on.
That's what I told Jesse. I moved here from Florida, and right where I lived was one of the hugest old folks communities ever. It was called the Villages, and the HIV rate was like HIV is running rampant here because all the old people are having sex because they know they can't get pregnant, so they don't care. And one time I went out in the Villages, which is what it's called, and it shuts down at like 7 o'clock, and it was really like nothing I'd ever seen. All the old folks are like scrambling to see who's going to go home with who at the end of the night. Like, they're going to each other's cars, like, let's go home together, let's go home together. And so that Kandi's mom was right. Like, HIV is very high in older generations. So Jesse was surprised by that.
I was very surprised. I was like, that is some...
Oh, yeah, because you think you're free because you can't have babies.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, I mean, that was a nice little segment of Kandi, but that was pretty much it. So moving on to a big part of this episode was Cynthia, and it kind of seemed to me that she was just revisiting all her old boyfriends, but Jesse said to me that the second guy, Kite?
Yeah.
Was gay, so that must not have been her old boyfriend.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Because she said the first time I ever met him, she said the same thing that she always says to all of her gay friends. Hi, my name is Cynthia, and I'm a model and a CUNTT.
TT. Yeah. I like Cynthia a little bit more in this episode. Courtney, you're not a fan of Cynthia, right?
I actually like Cynthia a lot. I think she gets a bad rep for hanging out with NeNe and just trying to be normal and calm.
Yeah, I saw a lot I liked about her in this episode, and especially that part where she said that, and just to see her dancing. And she was a very successful model in New York, and I like to see her go back to New York and sort of revisit her old stomping ground. And I am catching a hint of a little bit of trouble in paradise with her and Peter. You're
catching a little hint.
Oh, shush! I mean,
girl, they put the Michael Jackson glove on and slapped you across the face. What are you talking about?
I know that was wrong phrases because I do say it every time.
And leave it up to a gay boy to get it out of her too. Be like, girl, what's wrong? She's like, nothing. Really? Okay, well, I was just really upset.
Can we see you in the booth right now?
No, unfortunately.
See you? He did a whole little reenactment, but
that's hilarious.
But yeah, so she meets up and she does kind of say to her friend that she misses New York and all of that. And it seems to me that Cynthia's just kind of bringing like cameos in this season to kind of build her
reputation.
Yeah, because she had Miss J.
Yep.
Now Russell Simmons. That's huge. I mean, that's huge that she had him. So Courtney, what did you think about the whole Russell Simmons meet and greet?
Oh, I love that. I think Russell Simmons is awesome. I had the pleasure of meeting him once in college, and I think that interaction was so cute and fun, and it's cool that he's such a cool dude. Like, he should be such the, like, snaky, like, he's dating all these young women, and he's just rich and old man, but he's just, like, a cool dude, and it's nice that he was still, like, friendly with her and that they're still friendly with each other, and that's just, he's so charismatic, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Honestly, I feel
and I like her in New York.
Me too.
Me too.
I feel like they would make a better couple than her and Peter. I feel like if
See,
she
I thought about that too.
I feel like, and it's like her friend was saying, I feel like if she woke up next to Russell, she would wake up every morning and be like, I love life. Like, yeah, they might have their fights here and there, but I feel like she'd be saying that more.
Because you can tell
Well,
she
I
wants...
just think she changed her life for this other guy, and it's a big adjustment. And she's not, I mean, she went from living in New York for, what did they say, like 17 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To move into Atlanta. Like, that's another whole kind of world. And she's like, she's in a different category. She's like world-traveled woman, and that Atlanta scene is like people that a lot of them think they are more than they are. Not to be rude. I hope that didn't offend anybody, but like because they're in that center, and there's a culture in Atlanta of people that feel like, you know, we've like made Atlanta this metropolis, and like it's still only Atlanta though.
Yeah.
So there's sort of, I don't know. She said it when she was like, they're all worried about their, you know, labels and having to show it all off, and she's like, I've done that and I have that. I don't have to show it. So I think she just doesn't fit in. And that makes her meek and come across like she's quiet and reserved and not really able to speak her mind or say anything about herself.
Yeah, she's kind of like Peter's hot ex-model wife. But I can tell, and so I think Courtney had a really good point, that they would make a cute couple, her and Russell Simmons, because you can tell she wants to be with someone who's business-minded, focused, you know, entrepreneur, businessman.
Insecure with themselves.
Yeah. So I think Russell Simmons is the better version of Peter.
I agree.
Well, Russell is a cheater, so I don't think he's a better option. I think that she thought maybe Peter had that a little more than he does.
Well, I want to ask you guys what you think as far as at the beginning of the episode where Cynthia was talking to Peter about New York. Peter was like, no, I want you to focus on work and, you know, not these dinner parties. Do you think he was... I mean, really, who are you to be telling your wife who makes way more money than you do to be focusing on work? Or do we think that he was kind of nervous, like, she better not go back there and start enjoying life out there and...
Yeah, I wonder if he knew she was meeting up with her old boyfriend, Russell Simmons.
Well, yeah, she said.
Yeah, she said it.
Did she say that?
Remember,
okay.
he said she couldn't wear the perfume?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I wrote down when we were watching the episode that I thought that it seemed like he was nice and he was giving her kind of a little pep talk, but now looking back, it does kind of seem like he was a little bit worried. And as much as you want to say don't go on or dinner dates or whatever it is, business trips are all about going to dinner and networking and things like that. So he probably was a little bit jealous and trying to keep her from, I don't know, going out.
Courtney, because you kind of know more than I do. What did you think, as far as Cynthia's career, like, how long has she kind of been on hold for? Do we know?
How long has she been, not...
doing modeling?
She's been modeling for freaking 20 years.
No, I get it, but has she still been consistent with it, like with the past?
Fairly consistent. I mean, as consistent as it's going to be. Obviously, she's gotten older, but she still gets work regularly. So, I mean, I assume if that's based on what we can see, that seems to be all that she has done, because she's just now trying to start a new business. So, I mean, that's not to say that there haven't been rich men along the way that have taken care of her, but it doesn't appear to be that way. And I know that she's consistently had work forever. Since I can recall in my adult life, I've seen her face, even if it's only in, like, you know, the black magazine, so to speak. She's definitely been working, which it hasn't just been that, but that's the stuff that I know she's been doing. So, I mean, she's doing all right. She's 46, I think, or 44.
Yeah, she's at 44.
And if Russell Simmons is telling you you're one of the only women I know that's still a working model at your age, you know you're doing pretty well. So
yeah.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because, you know, it's interesting with some of these shows, the way that the show paints certain characters. Like NeNe, she knows, like, I want people to think I'm a multimillionaire, so I'm only going to do this in front of the camera. So now it's funny, it just hit me, Stephanie, when you mentioned the fact that, you know, Cynthia's brought all these cameos on. It's almost like, I wonder if she's trying to build herself, obviously not to a Tyra Banks level, but kind of like, these are my friends. This is really who I am, and everything about her is modeling. I know obviously that's what she is as a model, but everything that she's painting herself on this show is kind of building her up to be like a real, like to me, I just keep thinking Tyra. I feel like she's trying to build this empire to be amongst Tyra, Naomi, and all that. And I
just feel like she got a crappy look. Like, people were kind of harsh to her even last season. Like, oh, she's not really anything. She doesn't have much personality. She's just behind NeNe's butt all the time. Like, that's all she is. Blah 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 blah. And I feel like she was just trying to establish herself as a life and a presence in Atlanta. And she was so focused on, like, not just being the model and not wanting all that to be a part of it, because she was doing her Atlanta thing and trying to be in her relationship in Atlanta and helping her husband build this and do that. And now she realizes, like, okay, they're jumping on me for this, that, and the other, and that's not me. Like, this is me. This is my life. I am a world-traveling international supermodel with high class friends, whatever you want to call them, high fashion friends and all this stuff. Like, I roll with those people. And I feel like now, because she's gotten such crap about what she was doing last season, it's like, that didn't work. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to put this all in your face.
Right. I feel that.
Yeah. And I mean, you can tell that these really are her friends. I mean, Miss J from America's Next Top Model isn't just going to come sit down and have lunch with her and spend an afternoon in her new little modeling camp. And Russell Simmons, if you notice when she went in, they were just saying hi to each other, whatever, hi. And she said, I want to talk to you about this school that I'm starting. And he didn't even know what she was coming for. Like, she really did just go in there as a friend, like, hey, what's up, what's up? Because when she said it, he's like, oh, really? So it's not like they had this business meeting planned. They were just, it was just a friendly meeting, like, to catch up. And then she asked for his advice. So you could tell they really are friends. And that's a great move to bring huge Russell Simmons on the show and kind of.
Yeah.
I never realized how bad Russell Simmons' ADHD was.
Yo, he is off the chart.
Wait, so Courtney, you said you've met him, right?
Yeah, he came to our school and did this whole, they come for lectures and that kind of thing. And then he, like, stayed around after and signed a bunch of books and talked to us, like, personally. It was nice. He was cool, but he was, like, all over the place. Even in his, like, lecture, he was all over the place. That's funny. Like, it was just too much information to cram into 45 minutes.
But you could tell he's smart, and even when she was leaving, she said, thank you for the advice or whatever, and he said, I only told you one thing, and he, like, quizzed her on it. He said, and what did I tell you? He's smart. He seemed like a really good guy.
And so. that made so much more sense of what, he kind of heard what she was saying, and it was very amateur the way she's going about it, and he kind of wrapped it up for her nicely with just the title.
Yeah.
All right. Can we please talk about this damn hot mess of a date, or should I say a business business meeting?
I don't have the energy.
All right. So NeNe went out with John, her partner, who is a John who's apparently her partner. She has a partner now, business partner. And owns the pizza company Famous Famiglia. Okay.
Well, no, this is the restaurant that she does now own. Remember we talked about it on the very first episode?
In the airport.
In the Sacramento airport. So she does own it now. I guess this is in the beginning works is when the filming was. So yeah, it's her business partner. But it was so creepy from the beginning. And she has to know going on this lunch date that he had a thing for her. It was just...
I mean, so she wanted the Lenthea Lounge, because that's apparently what her name is.
Lenthea Lounge.
Lenthea. And then as soon as she says that, it just got awkward. The waiter comes and gives the menus. He says, no. Take away the menus. I know what my women want. I already ordered food for you. And she was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he keeps saying a real man knows what his woman wants to eat. And a real man this. Oh. You go, girl.
You go, girl.
That was too much. I can't.
But the best was, don't blush, girl. You're going to put a teardrop down my eye.
And then he's like, oh, no, I can't rap. And then he's like, I couldn't even see if you were blushing. He belonged on Real Housewives of New Jersey. He was so New Jersey to me.
No, he don't not belong.
He was like New Jersey style, right?
I couldn't even think
He was, I don't even know what to call that.
Right. I can't even think of a reality TV show for him to be on. He was that weird. So he wanted to feed her. He tried to feed her, like force feed her. Then gave her a Tiffany's pen, which...
That was a nice business gesture.
Yeah.
It's better than like earrings or something.
Well, I'm glad. Well, okay. So then I'm like, because I thought it was going to be a bracelet. I'm like, okay, now that's just awkward. This is when you say, you know what, we can't be business partners because you think the partner thing is something totally different than what it is. But then it was a pen. So I was like, okay, that was classy of him. But then he takes his jacket off and he says, we're going to have dessert outside. So they go outside and he gifts her with red bottom heels. From what I know about red bottom heels, those are what we call fuck me pumps.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I mean, Courtney, for a business meeting, like, why are you getting heels?
Literally, I don't even know what to say about any of that. That was all a mess.
but I mean, that wasn't even the messiest of it all.
As if things couldn't get any worse,
We
right?
had, I can't remember his name because I was laughing so
Paul.
hard. Paul.
John. I'm sorry.
Well, no,
it's
John says, I want you to meet somebody. This old man comes walking over, and apparently this man is an amazing Italian singer, has sang for people like the Pope, Sophia Loren, and went into retirement, but came out of retirement.
And promised never to sing again.
Never to sing again.
Devoted his life. Never, I'm done. But came out of retirement to sing for NeNe Leakes. I mean, if there's a moment in time, it is for NeNe Leakes. So he sang for NeNe.
That was a joke, right?
I mean, like, that was just...
That had to be a joke, right?
I was literally speechless. Like, normally me and Stephanie, when we watch the show, like, we, like, joke back and forth. We kind of, like, know where we're going to take the show afterwards. We were so quiet through this whole thing because, I mean, the baby thing was boring. Kandi, we joked around during Kandi's part. And then this came...
And we
didn't speak. We just were dying laughing. Like...
And watching in awe as the awkwardness unfolded. But the thing about it is it kind of, I think... In the middle of it, before the song started, the creepy, awkward, weird song, NeNe was this after the song? She like had her arms on him sort of and kind of seemed like she was enjoying it and kind of seemed like she gave him the wrong message.
She was totally feeding him the wrong message. She kept saying like, all right, with the food thing where he was feeding her, she was like, no, I'm not interested in that.
But as soon as the heels came out,
as soon as the Tiffany's pen, as soon as the heels came out, she was like, oh, like, you're my business partner. Like, we can keep calling it business partner. Yeah, keep calling it business partner.
Well, maybe she just knows exactly who this dude is and how he behaves. So she was just playing the game.
Well, even
because she wants her Famiglia restaurant.
Right, but I mean, that's what it is. So, and that's cool if that's what it is, but admit that's what it is.
Yeah, because...
Well, she's not going to say that about the dude on, that's crazy.
Well, she kind of did before he even brought out the gifts. She said, I don't know about this. I'm new to the dating scene, and I don't know. I've been in a relationship. Like, why would you even bring that up at a business meeting?
I've never been on a fancy date like this.
She knew what was unfolding, and she shouldn't have even said those words and said those sentences because then she admitted as much that it was kind of like a date, and therefore the gifts started flowing.
He was playing.
So, I remember what Cameron actually texted me. He said to make sure to talk about that now we know where Phaedra found her husband.
Oh, I know, in that, ghetto courthouse where he's paying her in dollar bills outside.
I just left that out altogether. That was so ridiculous. And he gave her cash in the parking lot?
And it looked like $1 bills. I don't know if it was. I'm sure it wasn't.
Hold on. Let's rewind this.
Okay, moving on to Phaedra.
Phaedra.
Cameron, we hope you're listening.
And first of all, Phaedra's from what she's been giving off is the banging lawyer if you have her
Bobby Brown's attorney.
Yeah. So which when we hear that we think, oh well, she has celebrity clientele. When in reality we should think, well, Bobby Brown is a crackhead. So basically, you represent crackheads. Okay, and you proved that point today. When freaking Joe Schmo came up in the place late, you had to tell your clientele to come dressed like he was going someplace.
That was great.
which means you probably meet with him like where? And behind the school in a white tee, like
McDonald's.
McDonald's parking lot. So okay, whatever. Is this are you helping Apollo's friend out? Like, what was this that he pulled up with tinted windows, and then we find out that he's in trouble because his windows were tinted. Lied to the judge, straight up lied to him, and then.
Well, he told the truth about his bag of weed.
Well, because the reality is they were gonna give him a damn drug test. Hello. Yeah, so whatever. And shame on Phaedra as a lawyer to really like stick her neck out like that. Because she walked out there and you saw those windows were tinted. Mm-hmm. That means that in 3 months when the parole officer just shows up and says, here's a drug test, he's going to fail that. And that's you who looks bad. Because you really put your name on the line for this dude? I don't know, like, to me that was stupid. And then, again, we go out there, the window tints are still on the car, and then he, like a freaking stripper, pulls out a wad of money and just gives it to her, and she just takes it like...
she didn't even seem, like, fazed by it. She just... It seemed like a normal
she
transaction.
said on Watch What Happens Live afterwards that cash is better than a bounce check.
Right. Mm-hmm. I bet, Phaedra.
You can't see Jesse's face.
I bet, Phaedra. I really do bet. Because what? That was some ghetto. Excuse me. That was some ghetto shit.
And that's exactly what we said when we were watching it. We're like, this is so ghetto, and it seemed like a normal transaction to her. She didn't seem fazed by it at all. I think this really opened our eyes on Phaedra's work. At first, I was so glad. I was like, look at her. I'm so proud of Phaedra. Look at her little attorney. But they're in like this crappy little courthouse, which whatever. But and she's representing this kind of mediocre client. I just thought she was
I wouldn't even give him mediocre.
No,
like
yeah.
you're first of all, as a lawyer, why are you even representing like if you're this big time lawyer, why are you representing somebody for tinted windows and marijuana?
I mean I wrote that down. And why is that the case that you're showing to the world? I mean, why is that the one you picked to be videotaped for Real Housewives of Atlanta? I mean, Courtney, right? All we hear is little giggles from Courtney.
I mean, I appreciate it because, like I said, lots of one character. I hate saying this because it's my hometown and I love it, but that's the one big pet peeve I have with this show. It's the posing as you are not, and you are not a huge time lawyer, which is fine. Like, somebody's got to represent the common criminals.
Absolutely.
But like, don't front like you're, and maybe you are, like maybe you've had like a celebrity client, which is awesome for you. But if you're taking cash in the parking lot from Joe Schmo with tinted windows and weed in his pocket, and your law practice is a little different than you're trying to let us believe.
Right, and maybe the only reason you got Bobby Brown is because he was only trying to pay in cash, and you were the only lawyer who would damn do that. All right, from one hot mess, let's move over to the next. Shereé.
Sorry.
I knew.
Jesse said
that I felt watching that. Sorry, I had to let that out.
Jesse said, I really hope Courtney calls in because I can't wait to hear what she has to say about Shereé.
I cannot.
All right, Courtney, you start.
I almost refuse to comment. I really would like to refuse to comment.
Can you at least comment on the fact? Well, actually, no, I need you to comment. Because comment number one, the produced segment, why do we keep going back to this damn land, the woods? We keep meeting up in the woods. Why are you showing people the woods?
Did you notice how this time, though, they rolled the camera through the neighborhood to show some other houses?
Yeah.
Why are you shipping people to the woods to have heartfelt conversations?
Really? Like, you never knew nothing about your parents' divorce until you're in the woods? Like, having life revelations?
Talking about your sit and speak, which, by the way, I'm sure I was supposed to feel some sympathy for, but I felt none.
No.
And maybe if I liked her, I would have,
if it was like
a
doll, if it was like a doll or like something sentimental, like what I actually on my papers I wrote, where did I put this? Sure. Oop, that's a little too early. Sweetie, here we go. Oh my gosh, where are we? I don't know. All I wrote is, why are we talking about a speak and spell?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this?
I'm just imagining little Shereé pining over her speak and spell. What is it?
Yeah, when her name was Shereé.
Shereé.
Wait, did I say Shereé? What?
When her name was Shereé. I'm agreeing with you. Her name was Shereé then, and then she became Shereé when she thought she was like big time.
Chateau Shereé.
Chateau Shereé.
She by Shereé.
Okay, well, I don't know when this damn building's gonna be built, because
who cares?
Well, it's not gonna get built because
she
she ain't gonna get the money for it. She ain't gonna get the money for it because Bobby, damn, sent her a petition to lower his.
And he only makes $3,000 a month.
But wait, why did you use your daughter's gift card to get food?
That's beyond hot mess. I can't even start. But also, why was little Cairo sitting there listening to her talk to her mom about
Courtney,
the papers?
rewind, because listen to this. So as we're watching it, she's on speakerphone with the mother.
Yes.
And the mother's saying, you don't want your kids
you
to
don't want
hear.
your son.
And so me and Stephanie are watching. I said, watch when she gets off that phone. She's going to like do a dramatic turn and look at her son.
Because he's in the foreground and it was her profile and he's in the foreground staring at the TV, poor little guy playing his videos. And Jesse goes, watch. She's going to hang up the phone and do the slow turn
so
to her son.
And what did she do? She closed her flip phone very carefully, held it to her chest. She what's they could say? They clutched her pearls. And then she turned to her left and she gazed over and she went, you want to go bike riding? Bitch, please. No one cares. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. Like, you are ratchety. I'm so sorry.
Awful. And those papers were not in no envelope. They were sitting on the counter. Cairo is not an idiot. You know he saw them if he actually got them from the door and if the producers didn't just sit them there and make this whole thing up to begin with.
And he was pissed.
I can't.
He was pissed at her. Like, why did you have that conversation right there? What went through your mind? Because from what I can recollect, last week you said, "Oh, I don't want to bring him to court because I don't want the kids knowing our business." Well, so if that's the case, why are you still standing in the damn kitchen?
Yeah, on speakerphone. And the only thing I could keep thinking was, would it have been a little bit better if it was her daughter that was hearing it and not her older, impressionable son whose his father is his only male role model? I could not believe it, and she could have cared less. And actually, she was totally doing it on purpose, right? Do you guys agree?
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like when the parents fight, when they know their kids can hear, like she had it on speakerphone so she could make her
get sympathy.
Yeah.
And she proved it because right afterwards, she walked over to her son, made the comment about wanting to go bike riding. He said no. Oh, well, why? What do you mean, bitch? Why? Because you just did some shady ass shit to him. And then, well, do you want something to eat? Like, do you want to eat his asshole out anymore? Like, can you just leave the kid alone? Like, you just.
And she's like mayonnaise, mustard, and cheese, right? Like mother props because she knows exactly what he wants on his sandwich.
Right. Well, no, bitch. Why are you feeding your children damn cheese sandwiches?
Like 5 grapes.
And then gives grapes. And he's like, why are you giving me grapes? Oh, because today you need to eat healthy. The cameras are here.
Yeah, he's like called her out. He's like,
disgusting. And I want to make it clear that I am sure Bob Whitfield is hot garbage too on some level.
Absolutely. I think he's probably a hotter mess.
She definitely is hot, stanky garbage. For that entire display.
I gotta say, because there were times where, this season I was like, okay, I like how she's trying to portray herself. Versus last year,
she did not win any sympathy points with the speak and spell.
Yep, from the speak and spell. From the moment that I saw you brought your mother out to this damn grassy knoll in the woods, like, I can't with you, Shereé. I'm done. I'm over it.
And I'm not offended that she's like trying to make this man pay child support, whatever, do what you got to do.
Right.
But if you're about to build the chateau of Shereé, you shouldn't be having any money problems raising your children.
And it just adds on more because
exactly you're about to build a big old house.
Right, because why? You need some damn money, so that's why you're going after child support. Like, and if I was Bob and you're telling me you're building this house, I would think, well, you haven't asked me for child support for 4 years. Now you want to build this freaking mansion with freaking stripper poles and pool rooms and just
the library,
basketball court, a yoga room, like, bitch.
And a ballroom.
Right, a ballroom, like.
Well, she even said she said, so he makes $3,000, but he can give her $2,000. She's like, but that's not even enough to cover food and clothes. And I was thinking $2,000 a month isn't enough to cover food and clothes. And then she throws in, and utilities.
Right.
Like,
Yes!
I don't know much about child support. I don't know where it's supposed to go and how you're supposed to appropriate the funds. But she threw in the utilities at the end. She's like, and that's not even enough to cover the utilities. And I was like, what?
Trifling. Over it. All right, so on that note, that was pretty much the episode. I don't know, you guys have anything that you thought was funny that we didn't speak about you want to throw out there? I mean, that was pretty much all the trash that we watched today.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't even have any outfit comments this time.
I can't even remember what anyone was wearing because the things that were spewing out of their mouths, like, ridiculous. I just keep fading back to Speak and Spell and this damn funny money exchange outside the courtroom.
Funny money?
But, like, not only that, can we even rewind back to that? Like, first of all, Phaedra, you're not even a bit worried the fact that you're outside of a courtroom with somebody who has tinted windows and you're making money exchanges with
it looked
him?
like a deal going down with the dude in the brown polo, like, and she put it right in her purse, like,
this is what gangsters do.
She said she pays her taxes on that money, so nobody can judge her.
I bet she does. I bet she does. And on that note, we're going to head to a commercial break, and we'll BRB.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after-shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
My favorite part of that commercial is when he says, "My stupid coworkers, who I hate." Gets me every time. All right, let's jump into... I'm actually kind of upset with Bravo, but we're going to jump into predictions, and I'll explain this.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I want to see tomorrow's episode. They're going to play a special episode tomorrow. I'm upset with them that it's on that night, because why couldn't you do the Kim's birth on a separate episode? Like, I wouldn't have cared to watch that. I want to see tomorrow night's episode. But no, I have to watch A-List Dallas. We have so much other stuff here at AfterBuzz, but we have to find a way to cover this because Shereé's going to court with Phaedra, and it seemed like Phaedra don't really know how to play ball in court.
I think so. We get a glimpse of Phaedra, how she rolls or whatever in her working world. But now we see that she actually may not even be that good when she does have a better client, because apparently she chokes in court, and they're like, oh, maybe she's not that great of a lawyer. So I think I'm excited to see that. And they said it's Shereé's husband, right, the NFL player? Yeah. And he's representing himself. So they were saying that she's bad even against someone who's representing himself that has no legal knowledge at all. So I'm excited to see that.
What do you think? Do you guys have any thoughts as to how that's going to go down? I have one. I'm wondering if, like, because remember how we, Stephanie, a couple weeks back, me, Courtney, and Cameron were talking about how we wonder if he's been giving her money, or when they split up, she got a large amount of money, and he's going to try and, like, use that to an advantage, because we're just kind of skeptical of the fact that she was trying to stay away from court so bad. She was really trying to not go to court, and she keeps saying it was so that he wouldn't look bad, but I'm wondering if there's going to be, like, I know clearly for him to show up to court by himself, like boldly like that.
Yeah.
Like he has to have something in his pocket.
Yeah, and she keeps going on and on saying she doesn't want to bash him or bring him to court, but she's bashing him on national television every single week.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's not bringing the court into it, but she's, the American public is making their opinion. What is it? Court of public opinion. So she's already ruined him in the eyes of the court of the public opinion. So yeah, something may be hiding that she doesn't want to come out in court, but we will see this week.
Yeah, I think two things. Either one, the teaser is just getting me all excited for absolutely nothing,
Which
and
Bravo is
Which
very
is
good
gonna be
at.
fine. Or two, Bob Whitfield's gonna come in there and be like, "I gave you this multi-million-dollar settlement. I have since lost money in the market and everywhere else. I'm not working as a football player anymore, and I don't really have another job. So my income is like my retirement account, which is like $4,000 a month. I can't give you $20,000 a month to take care of your kids and build a new house."
That's exactly what I feel is going to happen.
And
Phaedra's going to be, she's probably being fed all these lies by Shereé, and it's just going to choke her up in the middle
I
of
was
court.
just thinking that just occurred to me too, that she hasn't been given all the information from Shereé, and so that's what's going to like blindside her in court. She's not going to have the knowledge she needs to prepare herself to fight back against him because Shereé hasn't been honest this whole time.
Yeah, because until they're forced to give their financials to the court, all she's going on is what Shereé's telling her and what they kind of have an idea. Oh, he was a football player. He has to have money. That's not necessarily true. And if he can produce financial records that prove that she makes more money than him, child support is a little bit of a problem.
Yep. So I do not know what to say to you, Shereé, at all.
Well, we have that to look forward to next week, and the whole
Charles,
NeNe
NeNe,
and
and
Charles.
and
What do you?
Marlo.
Yeah, we actually didn't really talk about that too much this week because nothing really happened. But I guess it is going to be brought back up again next week. Courtney, what do you think about all that?
I mean, I don't understand why it's such a big deal. I guess the argument was that she was supposed to be married at the time that they hooked up. But from what I understand, he wasn't really saying he got on it. He was kind of just saying, nah, I wasn't down for that.
Yeah, no, he said he took her back to the hotel and nothing ever happened.
So I don't understand why everybody's still like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
I think they're
What's
just
the
saying
big
that
deal?
because they know it gets a rise out of NeNe. So it's kind of their way to keep her in an awkward position. So what I'm wondering is if NeNe pursued him, and obviously he said no.
Oh, that's what I think happened.
Right. And she's just in this awkward position because she almost cheated on her husband, who she was still married at the time, which is why the rumors are starting. And she just, she can be around him and say whatever she wants to around him, but it's still kind of that awkward stage. So I think that's why people keep bringing it back up. But I mean, it's almost... they can't talk about it after this episode anymore.
I know. It's
irrelevant.
done. I would rather talk about more the fact that I think that she's going to hook up with Peter or try to.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said it because I've been saying it.
I mean, I'm more interested in the prospect of her hooking up with Peter and then instead of whether or not she did hook up with Charles.
Like, I want to go to
That
Bravo.
would be way more
I
interesting.
know.
Thank you. I want to go to Bravo and say, look, here's what's going to happen in these women's lives.
But I don't want to hurt Cynthia.
No, it's going to be good for Cynthia because listen to what's going to happen.
No, it won't because Cynthia's actually in love
Courtney,
or she wouldn't
listen,
have given up her life.
No. Girl, sometimes like her modeling career may have just like slipped a little bit and she like went, ooh, cuckoo. And so, she has this man who makes her feel bad about herself. The girl don't feel happy. She thinks she's happy, but she clearly tonight explained to us, I'm not a happy person. For you to say you regret leaving New York, you can't have...
But that's not true. You've never moved for a relationship and hated it. Like, I know some people in a similar situation. They love their partner to death, and life circumstances have forced them to change their
But she
life.
didn't even say she loved him. She's like, I'm making it work. Like,
That's because it's a challenge.
Courtney...
She had a whole life and another. You go from New York City, supermodel lifestyle, to Atlanta, Georgia with these crazy hoes. Come on now.
But
I feel you.
some people
But what
don't
I
know
want to happen is I want NeNe to cheat, Peter to cheat on Cynthia with NeNe and cause a huge rift there. All the girls back Cynthia up, and Cynthia says, you know what? As a woman, I'm going to be strong. She moves back to New York, reclaims her life, and Cynthia's on top again, and NeNe and Peter. Then we can have some real fun on the Housewives of Atlanta with NeNe and Peter in a household together.
Well, and it wouldn't be Peter's fault, I don't think. I think that it would be NeNe's fault. She's always like, oh, Peter, you look so good in orange. And oh,
Wait, is she going to accidentally slip on his dick?
No,
like,
I think she's
I was gonna say
that's both of their fault.
No, but I know. Okay, I shouldn't have said fault, but I do think that she
poked me in the
pursues
eye.
him. I think she pursues him a lot.
He put his dick in
more.
my drink.
Oh my god.
all of a sudden it was in my mouth.
All right, I give up. It would be just as much his fault.
It would.
It would definitely be his fault.
Come on, that wouldn't be entertaining to watch all that go
Yes,
down.
that's what I want to happen.
Good.
Sorry, Cynthia.
Sorry.
Claudia.
No.
I always call her Claudia.
Ew, Claudia.
Give us something on this season because we're not getting very much, and that would be.
Like, I don't want to see the model school thing happen. Like, just I want her
That's
to.
gonna be boring.
Right. She can have it, but I don't want to see like girls who I'm gonna be looking at this like, really, bitch, you let them in there.
Do you guys think that John's gonna be back, the NeNe business
Yeah.
partner? Because when NeNe was on the Wendy Williams show, I feel like we're always talking about when she's on the Wendy Williams show. But Wendy Williams asked her about John, and she said, "We're just business partners, but quote, that's something to discuss somewhere else, not on this couch." And then like give a smirk or something. So I think something else is still going on, so we might see him again. Jessica.
I hope he has
In
no
the words
flag.
in the
There's
word
no way.
in the words of John. All right. On that note, I can't with this. This episode was almost as bad as the stripper episode. On that, Cameron, we missed you tonight. Stephanie, we're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Courtney, thank you for talking hot trash with us. You know we always love you on these reality shows. Until next week, well, where can we follow you guys? What do you?
Me, I'm at Steph Bauer TV on Twitter. Courtney, what about you?
I'm at Stewart Starlet
And
on Twitter.
And Cameron has a really weird one. I'm not even.
Yeah,
gonna
we'll get it
attempt.
to you guys next.
It's
Like,
Tama Kava something.
yeah,
Jesse, we should put them at the bottom of the screen.
we'll get that for next week, guys.
All right.
And I'm at DJ Jesse J. And also, if you guys are in the California area, this Sunday I'll be spinning at Avalon, opening up for Trina.
I love
So,
Avalon.
make sure y'all come out.
And Trina. That's awesome. I'll be there.
Speaking of
Oh
so.
yeah, we'll try to make it.
All right, guys. So until next week, same time, same place. Peace.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janedy, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.